If you are new to the channel, then subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for further notification. Okay student, I welcome you all once again to this new lecture of GATE Electrical Circuit series. So again today I have taken 5 questions, question number 56 to 60. Okay, then let's try to solve these questions.
Question number 56, the RMS value of the current IT in the circuit shown below. So for calculating this one, what you need to convert this L into XL and this L into XL, this C into XC to find the equivalent reactance. Then we can apply KVL, KCL. So for that we need, because this XL we need 2 pi FL or omega L. So we need omega or frequency. Where it is given, you see this one, this is my source. So I know it is always sine omega t. So because it is sine t only, the voltage source is given 1 sine t. So it can be written as 1 sine 1 t. So that means your omega is 1. Once you know omega 1, then you can find XL and XC, because it will be a starting point. Then we can apply KCL, KDL, whatever. So for that, if I take XL is J omega L. J omega is omega and L is 1. So this is my XL J, 1J. And what is XC? XC is 1 by J XC, 1 by J. XC is 2 pi FC, 2 pi F is omega, omega is 1. So 1 into 1. So that is minus J. Now when you see this one, this is J and minus J. Okay, something interesting is coming out of this. That means if you add the total reactance of this branch, suppose this branch, so what will be the total reactance of this branch? So it is now a shorted path, because J plus minus J, this is 0. So total reactance of this path is becoming 0. That means all your current will pass through this path and it will come to this. So no current will flow through this branch. This branch has no effect on this circuit, because this is a short circuit path. So all current will pass through this. Now it becomes very easy to you. Now what is your V? In phasor it is V. In this, in phasor representation, how we will represent phasor? In the last class also we have seen phasor representation. It is always RMS value, then the angle 0. So you know V, you know I, you know R. This is 1 ohm connected in this path. Nothing is there. So your I is very easy now. So I will be equal to V 1 by root 2, that is angle 0, divided by R is 1, that is 1 by root 2 angle 0. So what is your current now? 1 by root 2, that is your option. If VA minus VB is equal to this, then VC minus VD is how much? Okay, if you see the circuit here, circuit was a little mess here, because lots of things are given to you and lots of unknowns are also there. So you have given this voltage across these two, VA minus VB is given. So you know voltage across this, that means you know current through this. So this current is directly calculated, 6 by 2, that is 3 ampere. So 3 ampere current is flowing through this and it is 2 ampere. They have asked you to find VC minus VD. What is the voltage difference between these two? Okay. Now if we start with and all these unknowns are R, these resistance are unknown. You don't know the resistance. So the first thing that you can think of to take some, because what is between VC and VD? Only this resistance is between VC and VD. If I can calculate this current, whatever current it is, either in this direction or in this direction. If I take in this direction some current in this direction, then VD will be at higher voltage, VC will be at lower voltage. But whatever the direction, that doesn't matter. So some current into this resistance will be the drop, because this across between these two only this resistance is connected. This emitter, this can take, this is ideal current source, it can take any voltage across it, whatever voltage you can put, that depends on circuit. So this ultimately, this resistance, whatever drop it will give, that will come here. So we need that current. So either in this side or in this side, whatever side, if I take current in this side, suppose a current X ampere is in this side. So if I simplify, that means we have to take care of this 3 ampere into here, because this is given to you. Somehow we have to correlate between these and this. So for that we need KCL here and we need KCL here. If I take some KCL here and here, then because this current is common to this node also, this current is coming to this node also, so this will get cancelled. So again this current is also common to this current is also common to this. So somehow we can directly link between these two. So that is why I am simplifying this one. This side we can do series parallel, 2R, 2R is with parallel with R. So 2R in parallel with R, that is 57. 2R in parallel with R, how much it will give? That is 2 by 3R. So now if I simplify the drawing, it will look like 5 ampere source, then a resistance of 2 by 3R, then it is a VA, then this branch, and then something is there. I am not interested in that branch, and there here something is there. And there blah 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 is there. I am not interested in that side because this is my 3 ampere current. Suppose this current I have taken X and this is 2 ampere. You can take that direction also, that doesn't matter. Now if you take KCL here first, X is coming, 2 is going to, how much is going this side? X, out of X 2 is minus, so X minus 2 current is flowing here. Now let this current is I, let this current is I. So how much current is flowing through here? I minus 3, I minus 3. Okay. Now if I take KCL here, so if you take KCL here, then total incoming is I minus 3 into X minus 2, sorry, plus I minus 3 plus X minus 2 is equal to your I. Total incoming equal to total outgoing. So you can see your I get cancelled. So directly we are getting X equal to 5 ampere. So it becomes very easy now because X is 5 ampere, this is my VD, this is my VC. So I always told you, if the current is going through resistance, then that side is positive, this side is minus. So what will be the voltage difference between VC minus VD? So obviously VD at higher potential, VC at lower potential. So VC minus VD will be equal to minus you are getting it because VC minus VD. Actually it is VD minus VC, plus minus you see. VD at higher potential, but they are asking this one, so obviously minus will be there. And then current. What is the current? Current is 5 ampere. And what is this ohm? This ohm is 1 ohm. So into 1. So it is minus 5 ohm. So you can see this one, I think. So what we have done, we have, this is given to you, this is unknown to me because this to this is. So somehow we have to connect this. Either you go this side or this side. So what is the way to connect it? If I take KCL here and here, this current and this current is common for here also, here also. So that can give me some idea. From that I got that hint to go in that direction. In the circuit shown below, the current through the inductor is, what is the current through the inductor? So they have given something again I1, I2, and you have to find the current. So the first impression it shows like that this is a current, so this is I2. So I can take a KCL here. So I will find a relation between I1 and I2, and if I can find another relation, then I can solve these two equations. So for another relation you have lots of things here, you can do anything. So what I think you can do is you take a KVL along this path. If you have a closed path somewhere, you can take KVL along this path, because if you take along this path, you have this voltage source node, you have this voltage source node, you know this current I1, you know this current I2. So you will be direct, you know all the voltage of the path, the summation will be always 0. That is KVL. KVL can be taken across any closed path. Now first let me take KCL there. So I1 plus 1 angle 0, both are incoming, is equal to I2. So that means your I1 is equal to, because I need I2, so I will replace I1 everywhere, current through the inductor I2. So I2 minus 1 angle 0. Oh, that is 1 only. Okay. Now if I take KVL along this path, if we move in this direction, the pencil I have given the direction here. So the first thing I am hitting is here, so that is minus. I am moving in this through this path, so this minus is getting in this one. So minus 1. Then next plus, so plus 1, minus 1, plus 1. Then again inside the through resistor, I have always told you this is plus, this is minus. So plus 1 into I1. I1 is I2 minus 1. Again plus J1 multiplied by this current. This current is I2 is equal to 0. So from here you can easily calculate your I2 1 plus J is equal to 1. That means your I2 is equal to 1 by 1 plus J. That is your option C. The average power delivered to an impedance of this by a current source this. So what is the average power? Power who will absorb the power? Only resistance will absorb the power. This is resistance, and because this is minus, so we can say it is capacitance. So it is resistance, it is capacitance. So resistance will only absorb the power, and what is the power of through resistance? It is I square R. So power is I square R. So R you know 4. What is I? I is not 5. Because the same concept is coming every year. Last you can see, because it is a given in sine cos, so this is peak value. But we need this I is RMS, so it is 5 by root 2. So you have to go by 5 by root 2. Sine cos you can change any time cos into sine by adding a 90 degree. If you change it to sinusoidal signal, cos is also sinusoidal. So this plus 90 degree. Nothing is that. Cos means co-sinusoidal. It is sinusoidal just complementary to sinusoidal. You need a 90 degree. These will remain same. So it is 5 by root 2 whole square. That is 25 into 2. It is 50 watt. That is your option B. A two-phase load draws the following phase current. Two-phase load. The current are balanced in phi 1. So it is a, normally we have always come across a three-phase load. We have never come with two-phase load. In case of three-phase, the windings are placed 120, 120, 120 apart. Three windings are 120. Then we say it is balanced because it is balanced. Now in case of two-phase load it is generally given. If you see electrically, they are given 90 degree. Electrical 90 degree shift means, suppose this is north pole, this is my south pole. So from here to here it is electrical 180 degree. So they don't give 180 degree shift, because 180 degree then total, if you run with two-phase load 180 degree shift, then actually multi-phase loads is always given to a motor to have a rotating field, magnetic field. So if you give polyphase supply, it is always giving a rotating field. But if you give 180 degree shift, then no that polyphase will not create any rotating field. So from that concept itself, so here that's why one coil will be placed here and one coil will be placed after 90 degree. So whatever happening here after 90 degree, same thing happen here. So if one coil is placed, one coil placed there, then net rotating field will be 0. That is not a 180 degree shift, is not. You don't think that 360 divided by 3 was 120, 360 divided by 4 two phase, it will be divided by 2, it will be 180. No, if you give 180, then that rotating field will not create, and that is the main purpose of a polyphase system. So that's why it is a polyphase load. That means you can think of any more rotating load. So that's why you need to give them at electrical 90 degree apart. Electrical 90 degree is between somewhere between north and south. If between north and south, it is always 180 degree shift, and between, suppose one coil is placed here, then another coil will be placed here. So there will be 90 degree. Here suppose one coil is here, another coil is here. There are 120 degrees separated in three phases, but in two phase it will be 90 degrees separated. Now from here you can easily say one is sine, one is cos. So already there is a shift of 90 degree. So no need to go for further any shift. So it will be obviously either plus or minus phi 2. So let us check what is the current of I1. I1 is, that is Im, that is already in sine, so no issue. So it is sine. And for I2, what you will do, you will change it to sine. And how will change is sine 90 plus theta. So it is theta minus phi by 2 plus 90. So you can see already there is a 90 degree shift between these two. So your phi 1 is equal to phi 2. If you keep phi 1 is equal to phi 2, then there will be a shift of direct 90 degree. So which is mine for two phase balance load, that is the condition. For the angle between both the phases should be 90 degree. If you like the video, then press the like button and please give your valuable comments in the comment section.